Welcome to another adventure on Literacy Adventures with Ali. In today's adventure, we are going to learn about adjectives, but I assure you that not in a way that you already know. We are going to learn how we put adjectives if and when we have to use multiple adjectives in a sequence. So I hope today's adventure is going to be informative and knowledgeable for you and that you learn something new. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. Happy learning!
So, as I'm sure you all know, adjectives are describing words. They help describe nouns and pronouns. Adjectives have three degrees of comparison. The first is the positive, the second is the comparative degree, and the third is the superlative degree. We use the comparative degree to compare two people or things, and we use the superlative degree when we want to compare more than two people or things. An important thing to be remembered here is that when we use the comparative degree of adjectives to compare two things, we use the word than. For example, taller than, smaller than, bigger than, etc. However, I hear a lot of people use the word then when they are comparing two adjectives, which is wrong. Remember, then is a word that we use when we are talking about time. For example, we went to the park, then we went to the cinema. So then indicates time and it means after that or later on. However, when we are talking about adjectives, we use the word than. The pronunciation of both is different as well. THAN has a stretched sound and is pronounced as than. There are three types of adjectives in the English language. Regular adjectives are those when we change them into the comparative and superlative degrees, we add er and est at their end. For example, the adjective cold becomes colder in the comparative degree and coldest in the superlative degree. So we are adding er at the end of cold in the comparative degree when we are comparing two temperatures, and we add est at the end of cold when we are comparing more than two temperatures and in the superlative degree. The second type of adjectives are irregular adjectives. I hope you know what irregular verbs are. It's the similar science behind irregular adjectives. However, there are very few irregular adjectives in the English language. The two main ones are good, which changes into better, and best in the superlative form, and bad changes into worse and worst in the superlative form. The third type are those adjectives which do not have a comparative or a superlative degree. So, in order to describe the comparative and superlative degree of these particular adjectives, we have to take help of the words more in the comparative degree and most in the superlative degree. For example, beautiful. Beautiful does not have a comparative degree. We don't say beautifuler and beautifulest, which is wrong. So, to describe and compare two people, we would say more beautiful. And to describe and compare more than two people, we would say most beautiful. Similarly, if there is an adjective that we want to describe in the negative sense, then we would take help of the word less to describe or compare two adjectives and the word least to compare more than two adjectives. For example, less favorite and least favorite. A popular tip for identifying adjectives that are of the third type that use the word more and most before them is to break down the adjective into syllables. Remember, if there is any adjective that has more than two syllables, we usually use the word more on and most before them. For example, beautiful, that's three syllables, so that's more than two. dangerous, favorite. So, two or more syllables, we will use more and most before that. There are many different types of adjectives that are used for different purposes. For example, some adjectives are used to describe quantity, some are used to describe purpose, shape, size, physical qualities, age, material, color, and origin, etc. It's important to know more adjectives and have them in your vocabulary bank in order to be able to describe things, people, situations well while speaking and in your writing as well. In today's session, we will learn how to use multiple adjectives in a sentence. Let's read this sentence. The Lopez sisters are talented, large Mexican teenage three tennis players. Does anything seem wrong with this sentence? Does it sound correct? Seems like the sequence of the adjectives is not placed correctly. This is the order and sequence in which we place adjectives whenever we have to use more than one adjectives in a sentence, whether it is in speaking or it is in writing. So remember, first comes quantity, then comes quality, then comes size, then comes shape, then age, then color, then nationality, and then material. Let's take a look at a few examples. Take a look at this first example. There are three tall, slender, young African women are going to fetch water in the village. I have highlighted the sequences in red that I have used in this sentence. So we don't necessarily have to use all of them in a sentence. We just need to be mindful of the order and the sequence in which we use them. We may only use two, we may only use three in a sentence, but we must be careful about which order we place them in. Take a look at this next example. Four elderly Chinese folks are sitting on a park bench. Take a look at this example. There are five cute little brown kittens in the basket. Here is a challenge for you. Can you make sentences using any four of the following adjectives? Make sure that you use them in the correct sequence and order. Thank you for joining me in today's adventure. If you liked this video, then please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. If you want to know more about me, then please check out my bio in the About section of my channel. If you want to contact me for conducting training sessions, then please send me an email at the email address shown on the screen.